Welcome to English with Strangers. Nothing says learning under pressure like chatting with someone whose name you can't pronounce. So, why are strangers the secret sauce for language learners?
Well, host, linguists argue that talking to strangers is like jumping into the deep end without a floaty. It forces you to swim in real conversations, not just textbook dialogues. Plus, there's a 2018 Cambridge study showing learners remembered 38% more new words after chatting with strangers.
So basically, strangers are like walking, talking flashcards, but I guess there's always that fear of embarrassing yourself. Any advice for surviving that first awkward hello?
Absolutely. Embrace the awkwardness, think of it as seasoning for your language stew. Besides, everyone makes mistakes. If you ask for directions to the restroom and end up at a restaurant, you'll never forget that word again. Trust me.
Let's move on to the art of starting conversations. Some say icebreakers are the duct tape of small talk fixing awkward silences everywhere. What are your go-to openers when striking up a chat in English?
I like to keep it simple. Ask about the weather, classic, safe, and boring as watching paint dry. Or, my personal favorite, if you were a vegetable, which would you be? Suddenly, your best friend's debating the merits of broccoli versus spinach.
Nothing bonds people faster than a vegetable identity crisis. But can these quirky questions help with language learning? Or just make people think you escaped from a salad bar?
Oddly enough, quirky questions spark creativity. They get people using adjectives, comparisons, and even idioms. It's like sneaking vegetables into a pizza fun, but still nutritious for your English.
Speaking of pizza, let's slice into a real challenge: accents and slang. Have you ever tried understanding a Scottish stranger after 2 espressos?
Oh, I still have flashbacks. One time, a Glaswegian told me to mind the banter, and I thought he was warning me about a wild animal. Accents and slang can be baffling, but exposure is the key, like building an immune system for weird words.
So we should treat every confusing phrase as a linguistic vaccine shot? I like that. Any tips for not looking like a deer in headlights when someone drops a new idiom?
Smile, nod, and repeat the word back with a question mark in your voice works 99% of the time, and if all else fails, just laugh. Language learners who laugh remember 22% more, according to a 2021 study. Science says chuckling is educational.
Now, let's talk glorious misunderstandings. Is it true that every language learner needs a few embarrassing stories for their memoirs?
Absolutely. I once told a stranger I was pregnant with ideas and got congratulated on my baby brain. Mistakes stick with you. They're like post-it notes on your memory. Plus, they're great icebreakers for future conversations.
So maybe we should be handing out trophies for the biggest blunders. But on a serious note, how can learners turn these facepalm moments into fuel for progress?
Own them. Keep a fail diary, write down every hilarious error and review it. Not only does it help with retention, but you'll have great stories for dinner parties. Plus, strangers love it when you laugh at yourself.
Let's spin the wheel of role play. Why is pretending to be a lost tourist or an undercover spy weirdly effective for learning English?
Role play is like a dress rehearsal for real life. You can mess up, forget your lines, and nobody minds except maybe the imaginary customs officer. Studies show role players retain 50% more vocabulary when acting out situations versus rote memorization.
So next time I'm buying imaginary croissants at a fake French bakery, I'm actually doing brain gymnastics?
Exactly. Plus, you get bonus points if your stranger plays along. It's improv comedy meets language bootcamp, and you're both the star and the audience.
Shifting gears, what about meeting strangers online? Is talking to a random person on the internet as risky as eating gas station sushi? Can it actually turbocharge your English skills?
Online chats are the language learner's buffetenless variety. Minimal food poisoning. Apps like Tandem and HelloTalk connect you with partners worldwide. According to Pew Research, 67% of users report improved fluency after just 3 months of virtual chats.
So sliding into someone's DMs with a grammar question is actually productive. Any etiquette tips for not being the internet's weirdest pen pal?
Keep it friendly, not creepy. Start with a compliment about their profile or interests. And remember, emojis are your friend unless you're trying to explain quantum physics. Then maybe skip the smiley faces.
Speaking of emojis, let's talk culture. How can we avoid accidentally offending someone while chatting in English with strangers from around the globe?
Great question. Did you know a thumbs up is super positive in the US, but can be an insult in parts of the Middle East? Always research basic etiquette. And if you do mess up, a quick apology and a sheepish grin go a long way.
So, learning English with strangers is also a crash course in world peace. Any memorable cultural mix-ups you've survived?
Once, I complimented a Brit on their pants. Turns out I praised their underwear. We laughed it off, and now I double-check every word before making fashion comments.
Let's face it, courage is key. Is there a science to building confidence, or do we just need to fake it till we make it awkward pauses and all?
Research shows the more you talk, the less you sweat literally. A Harvard study found that after 10 conversations, 82% of learners felt more confident. Every chat, no matter how clumsy, is a step toward fluency and maybe a future podcast story.
So, the prescription is one awkward chat daily, with food if needed. Should learners set daily goals, or just wing it?
Set a goal micro conversation a day. Even a quick compliment to someone's shoes counts. Just don't follow them down the street shouting adjectives. That's a different podcast.
All right, let's talk friendship. Can strangers really become your secret language coaches, or is that just wishful thinking?
It happens all the time. Shared laughter over mistakes forges quick bonds. Some of my best language tips came from cafe conversations with strangers who became friends and occasional grammar vigilantes.
So, instead of grammar books, we should collect grammar buddies. Any advice for keeping these new friends engaged without turning every chat into an English lesson?
Keep it fun, share memes, swap stories, and mix English with their native language. If you're both learning, you've got a two-way street of confusion and progress. That's friendship, language style.
To wrap up, what's your ultimate pro tip for learning English with strangers without turning into that weird person everyone avoids at parties?
Be curious, be brave, and sprinkle in a little self-deprecating humor. People love helping, especially when you're honest about learning. Just remember, every stranger is a potential language avenger, not a villain.
So, grab your metaphorical cape and dive into conversations. Who knows, you might save the world from bad grammar, one stranger at a time.
And if all else fails, bring cookies. Language barriers crumble before snacks. Thanks for tuning in, and may your awkward moments be legendary.
Welcome to Laugh, Learn English. Today, we're diving into the magical world of easy English phrases, minus the yawns, and plus a few giggles. Sarah, do you remember your first English phrase?
Definitely. It was, "How are you?" I used it so much that people thought I was running a wellness survey. It's amazing how such a simple phrase can open so many doors or, at least, awkward conversations.
Absolutely. And speaking of doors, let's walk through some of the most useful phrases for everyday situations without tripping over our tongues.
I'll try not to trip, but no promises. Let's get started with the basics, shall we?
So, everyone knows hello, but what are the other ways to greet someone in English without sounding like a robot at an airport?
Great question. You can say hi, hey, or even what's up. Though if you ask my grandma, she thinks what's up means you're asking about the ceiling.
True. And then there's good morning, which people only use if they've had coffee. Studies show 60% of English speakers prefer hey before noon.
And let's not forget howdy. Perfect if you want to sound like a friendly cowboy or confuse your British friends.
Moving smoothly, what about politeness? Is please really the magic word, or is it abracadabra?
Honestly, please works better unless you're trying to make your coffee disappear. Adding thank you and excuse me can make you sound like a charming English wizard.
I read somewhere that British people say sorry at least 8 times a day, even when someone steps on their foot.
Absolutely. In England, sorry is like salt you sprinkle it everywhere, just in case.
Let's breeze into small talk. Why is weather always the go-to topic?
Because it's safe. No one ever got into a heated argument over clouds. Try nice weather, isn't it? Or my favorite, looks like rain again.
And if you want to switch it up, talk about food. Have you tried the new pizza place? Even if you haven't, just nod enthusiastically.
Exactly. Or just say, I love pizza. Statistically, 99% of people will agree, and the other 1% probably just haven't had breakfast yet.
Now, imagine you're lost and your phone's dead. What's a friendly way to ask for directions without sounding like you're planning a heist?
Start with, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to? And remember to smile. so you don't look like you're about to rob a bakery.
And if you get a complicated answer, just say, "Could you repeat that?" Or better yet, "Can you show me on a map?" Even if your map is just a napkin.
Or my classic, "I'm new here," works every time, unless you're in your own neighborhood.
Ordering food in English can feel like a reality show challenge. What's a safe phrase to use if you don't want to accidentally order something spicy enough to melt your face?
Stick with "I'd like," or "Can I have?" And if you're feeling adventurous, add "without onions, please." You'll impress the waiter and your digestive system.
And don't forget, "Could I get the bill, please?" Otherwise, you might be washing dishes in the kitchen for eternity.
Or just say, "Everything was delicious," even if your taste buds are still recovering.
What about shopping? How do you ask for a discount without sounding like you're auditioning for a game show?
Try, "Is there a sale on this?" Or "Do you have any discounts?" Smile optional, but highly recommend it. For compliments, "This looks great," can double as flattery and distraction.
And if the price is too high, you can always say, "Let me think about it," which in English means "I'm running away now."
Or, my favorite, "I'll come back later." Spoiler alert, I never come back. Sorry, shopkeepers.
We all make mistakes. What's the go-to phrase for accidental blunders in English?
"I'm sorry" is the gold standard, but you can jazz it up with "my bad" or the ever-popular "whoops," which also works if you spill coffee on your boss.
And for excuses, just say, "I was stuck in traffic," even if your only traffic was a slow-moving cat.
I once blamed my lateness on a parade of ducks. No one questioned it, they were too busy picturing the ducks.
Let's talk preferences. How do you say you like or dislike something without starting a food fight?
Simple, "I like" or "I don't like." You can soften it with "I'm not a fan of" if you want to stay diplomatic, especially at family dinners.
And for indecision, just say, "I'm not sure." Works for food, movies, and life choices.
I use "maybe later" so much. My friends think it's my middle name.
Finally, let's wrap up with graceful exits. How do you end a conversation in English without making it weird?
Go for classics like "It was nice talking to you" or "I have to get going." And if you're really desperate, check your imaginary watch and say, "Oh, look at the time."
Or pull out the universal, "See you later," even if you hope you don't.
And that's how you leave a chat without vanishing in a puff of smoke, though. That would be cool too.
We've covered greetings, apologies, food, and even the fine art of running away from shopkeepers. Any final encouragement for our listeners, Sarah?
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone does. English is like a pizza. It's messy, but everyone loves it. Keep practicing and soon you'll be fluent or at least very charming.
Thanks, Sarah. Remember, listeners, every phrase is a step closer to fluency and perhaps free pizza. Tune in next time for more laughs and learning.
And remember, if all else fails, just smile and nod. It works in every language.
Welcome to Easy English, Slow and Silly. Today, we're diving into the wacky world of language learning. Why do you think English is such a roller coaster for beginners, Professor Tickleton?
Oh, absolutely. English is like a buffet where the labels make no sense. You think you're getting soup, but it's actually dessert. For example, red and red. Same spelling, different tense.
And don't even get me started on silent letters. Why is there a K in night? Was it just feeling lonely?
Probably. The English language collects silent letters like some people collect stamps, for no clear reason. It keeps learners guessing, which is maybe just our way of hazing newcomers.
Let's switch gears and talk about easy words. Why start with basics like cat, dog, or banana?
Because everyone loves bananas, of course. But seriously, easy words are like training wheels. They let you ride the English bicycle without face planting into grammar traffic.
So you're saying Apple is the universal key to unlocking the English treasure chest?
Exactly! If you master the simple words, you can at least order a fruit salad anywhere in the world. Studies show learners who focus on core vocabulary gain confidence 30% faster.
Let's address the tortoise in the room, speaking slowly. Some learners feel silly talking slow. Is slow speaking really that powerful?
Absolutely. Slow speaking is like using a magnifying glass for your words. Research from the University of Turtleville found comprehension jumps by 50% when teachers slow down.
So slow speakers aren't just being dramatic?
Not at all. They're the superheroes of clarity. Plus, you get more time to think, so you can avoid accidentally inviting someone to eat your homework.
Speaking of homework, let's talk about mistakes. I once tried to say I'm full in Spanish and told everyone I was pregnant. How about in English?
Classic! My favorite is mixing up bored and boring. One student proudly declared, "I am boring," which, to be fair, was not true at all.
Mistakes are like the seasoning of language learning, right?
Absolutely. Without a few goofs, how would we ever have stories to laugh about later? Plus, studies suggest laughing at mistakes helps you remember the correct version.
Let's put our learning to the test. Imagine you're at a pizza shop with only basic English. How would you order?
I channel my inner caveman. "Hello, one pizza, please. Big cheese. Thank you. Add a smile for extra flavor."
That's perfect. And if they ask, would you like extra toppings?
I'd say, yes, more cheese, no pineapple, never pineapple. That's a debate for another podcast.
Now, remembering new words can be tough. Any goofy tricks to help them stick?
Oh, loads. Try associating each word with a silly image. For duck, imagine a duck wearing sunglasses and dancing. The weirder, the better your brain loves oddities.
So, the next time I see a duck, I'll just think of a disco party?
Exactly, and that memory will stick harder than gum under a school desk. Studies show visual associations boost vocabulary recall by up to 40%.
Let's spice things up with pronunciation games. Are tongue twisters effective for newbies or just a way to embarrass yourself?
A bit of both. Repeating "she sells seashells" is like doing push-ups for your tongue. Just don't try it with a mouthful of crackers.
And are there easy tongue twisters for beginners?
Absolutely. Start with red lorry, yellow lorry. It's tricky but won't make you question your life choices.
Let's talk about unconventional tools. I've heard cartoons can boost English skills. Is this true or just an excuse to watch TV?
Cartoons are the holy grail. The speech is slow, the words are simple, and characters repeat everything. It's like English training wheels, only with more slapstick.
So, watching Peppa Pig is basically homework?
Exactly. And if anyone questions you, just say it's for linguistic research. Plus, studies show visual context increases understanding by 60%.
Let's talk real life. How important is it to use English with friends, even if you only know a few words?
Crucial. Language is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it gets flabby. Even if you just say, "Hi, how are you?" daily, you're flexing those English muscles.
And friends are usually patient unless you accidentally insult their cat.
True, but most friends love helping. Plus, every awkward conversation is a step closer to fluency and a chance to laugh at yourself.
To wrap up, let's talk about celebrating small victories. How can learners stay motivated when progress feels slow?
Turn every milestone into a party. Said your first full sentence? Treat yourself to cake. Understood a movie joke? Do a happy dance. Even small wins are proof you're winning.
So, basically, learning English is an excuse to eat cake and dance?
Exactly. If you celebrate every step, you'll never run out of reasons to keep going, and your English will thank you, one silly step at a time.